Who's this?
Hello, welcome to Garagecast. My name is Aiden. Today, I have two very lovely people sitting with me.
I don't know how lovely I am, but I'm Ellie, a tattoo artist out of California, and directly in front of both of us.
I'm a solid 5 on the lovely scale, and I'm Who's. I'm a little producer and I guess student.
Why do both of you instantly have to just take away my compliment?
We're both really insecure, and we can't take compliments well.
Okay, well, hold on. I said 5. I didn't say 5 out of what?
That's a good point.
That's up for interpretation. That's one of those, like, backhanded...
What was it out of then?
10. But it's one of those, like, backhanded, like, slightly not compliments.
Yeah, no, you both just took my compliment and were like, nah,
You're
we're
right.
good.
We didn't say yes and. I should have... You know what?
Nope, do not. We're not doing this bit.
What is
We're
your
not doing this
fascination
bit.
with yes and? What is your constant...
Improv.
This is like what you have with the questions game.
It's
you
improv,
have this,
baby.
You have this fascination with just, like, that.
That's like...
You know what? You're completely right that I do have a fascination with that. And I think it derives from a lot of my early childhood.
Your early childhood? What happened in your early childhood?
Improv games.
Yeah, a lot of me not wanting to join improv games because I was too scared to jump in and be social.
Oh,
But now you're really good at improv games. What was the disconnect?
I'm sorry?
You're really now good at improv games. So good that it makes others not want to play. Why are you... How did that get from there to there?
Are we actually talking about this?
Sure.
When did that happen? You know what? I played Dungeons and Dragons and was one of the worst players I think I've ever met.
I know.
Pretty much everybody who knows me talks about how legendarily bad of a player I was.
I played with Ash, I know.
Whoa, I've gotten better since then.
No.
I mean, it's taken away. That's bleeped.
I would not classify you as a good player.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
So you're a good RPer.
And you're a
Thank
great
you.
DM.
But as someone who has experienced trying to corral a group of people to do one thing,
Oh,
you
absolutely not.
You are an awful player.
Yeah, no.
You love to do things just for the sake of it. And it's great to, like, see and experience, but to actually play with can be infuriating sometimes.
I also, a lot of the time, will see the DM leading people by the nose into danger or precarious situations, and I go, I'm gonna go left.
Yep.
I would prefer not to do this, and you can railroad me, or you can start creating what's left because I'm going left.
Which makes for some fun moments, I'm not going to lie. And it makes you a better DM because of it, because you can see that and implement that in your own
Right,
campaigns.
that's usually how I operate at any time in any of my campaigns. My players are always free to just go left, and I'm completely prepared to try and, set out little things to try and lead them back to the plot
What if I go
on their own.
Backwards.
That happens all the time. It's called shopping.
I thought that was sedentary.
People just go into towns and they just spent the entire session shopping for things that really won't come up again.
But some of the best D&D memories I've had are during shopping occasions.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. What are some of your best D&D memories of some of these shopping? Like, lay us a few, Parker.
So we have a Monday campaign. Thanks for flipping the nickname. We have a Monday
Parker,
campaign
who's?
that Elenthrus runs.
Who's Parker?
I don't know who's Parker. Oh, that's a good one. That's a very
Right?
good one. Oh, wow.
Man,
you should write my albums.
Oh, you
Probably just as good.
Just as good, or if not better. Elenthrus runs a Monday campaign. And in said campaign, it is in her own world that she's created called Avernus. And we were stopped at a city known as Sanctum. And in said Sanctum, we were having a little shopping day. And one of our players decided to buy... What was the name of that tiger, specifically?
It wasn't a tiger. It was a cross between a lion and a lynx.
Ah.
And it was called a hellcat. A Volandan hellcat.
Yep. Wanted to buy a Hellcat, which would have sped the journey from horse by like times 2 to 3, but had so many negative side effects. And the entire session was spent trying to convince the other player, who was so hell-bent on getting this Hellcat, because if he got the Hellcat, he got like a special coin boost that allowed him to like... Well, what would you describe a black coin as doing to like simple minds that don't understand?
Without going too deep into
Not
for
like
people who
that.
don't play D&D or for people who don't.
Yeah, not everybody who's going to listen to
Just
this.
because
But
people who don't play D&D doesn't... Just because they don't play D&D doesn't mean they have simple minds.
I've been developing my own system, taking like inspiration from a lot of systems, anywhere from Pathfinder 3.5, 5e to things like Fate and even Betrayal on House of the Hill. A lot of different like games that I think certain aspects are really interesting of, and the black coins are just incentive for players to kind of play into the faults and the bad parts of their characters, the negative aspects of their characters. So much so that the coins incentives allow people to do anything from add a bonus to rolls they may not otherwise be able to add a bonus to, or re-roll certain rolls that they otherwise would not have the ability to re-roll, even if they have an ability that allows them to do so. In certain situations, such as things that we call fate rolls, you can't use abilities because the outcome needs to be determined on just random chance.
Yep. And these occasions, that's adorable, these occasions lead to moments where my character, known as Chuck, was doing everything humanly possible to not let Vinny, who was the other character in the session, buy this Hellcat, because one of us was probably going to die if he bought this Hellcat.
Well, I don't know so much if it was that one of you was going to die, more as that you wouldn't have any of the money you needed left to complete the journey.
The Hellcat gets very hungry.
Oh, you're talking about that. I immediately assumed that you would all spend the money rather than let the Hellcat starve, because you're correct. The shop owner did say if you don't feed your Hellcat, the Hellcat will feed itself. Whatever is closest.
However, I kind of knew our party, and I knew certain people in our party. We were just going to forget at a certain point, and there was a chance that we were going to forget, and then the trash rat that had been following us the entire time was just going to be bones on the side of the road, and it was just because of this Hellcat buying. And one of our other party members kept petting the Hellcat like a 5-year-old child and almost got the cops called.
Right. Which he did get the cops called.
He did get the cops called.
The cops were there, yeah.
Cops were there, and I had to act like his dad.
Cops.
I had to act like
Here
his
come the fancy
dad
cops.
with another dude character and be his other dad to get him out of that situation.
Right. And all of this was just because we were kind of ahead of our minutes on my D&D planning, and I didn't want to go too deep into the story without some of the other players present. So, shenanigans happened with some Hellcats.
And thank the many-faced merchant we did not buy those Hellcats, because
True.
We
thanks,
would have
Elvis.
had such a bad praise to Wasteland Elvis, praise to the many-faced merchant. Right. But yeah, no, those shopping memories are great. There's other shopping memories in some of your other like Wednesday campaigns, like the very Avernus Guardians of the Galaxy campaign, to where I was just a monk trying to open the doors of a facility and just sat there because I had no idea what to do because I was not an experienced player yet. The entire party just kept staring at me like, why do you not know what to do right now?
A brief explanation for the second campaign he's talking about is just that in my fantasy world, in the sort of equivalent of what is going on beyond the world itself, out in space, so to speak, there are a lot of different very powerful magic happenings and relics and items and characters that are all on sort of a very overpowered adventure romp that I was running for a pickup game at our local comic book shop for a while, and that pickup game's actually how I met Who's.
Yep, because of a giant fat rabbit.
It's true.
And a random happenstance of 3 people running past said giant fat rabbit. But that may be a story for another day.
Speaking of stories, we just went and saw Zombieland 2.
Good segue.
It was until you said good segue.
Are we actually talking about Zombieland 2, or
Are we not supposed to talk about Zombieland 2?
No, talk about Zombieland 2. You guys saw it.
we
How
don't
did you
wanna
feel?
spoil anything.
Well, we can
just
talk about it without
yeah.
spoiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
How did it
This is a non-spoiler cast review of Zombieland 2.
How did it compare to the
Just saw
first
it.
one? Is it worth seeing if you haven't seen the first one?
I think you should see the first one.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
there's no... In the first one, it's a lot of, like, these are what these characters are. Like, it's
Right.
introducing these people. In the second one, it doesn't do that.
Okay, so you're kind of just getting thrown right into the middle of a story type thing.
It is 100% a sequel story.
Yeah.
It is understanding that you know already who these characters are and their adventures within the first movie, moving on into the second movie. So much so is that the plot is revolved around 2 characters' interpersonal relationship. I would say actually all of the characters' interpersonal relationships is really the driving force of the plot. I would, in a generalized, broad term, describe Zombieland as a family adventure drama with zombies.
That sounds like a good enough time. How does it compare to the first one?
It's, I think that it's definitely not better, but it does hold up.
So it's a decent sequel.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
In my opinion, it is very good as a sequel. It is.
Ah.
It is. I haven't seen the first one in a while, but I might like the second one better.
That's a take that I cannot back up in any way because I haven't seen either of them. But to hear someone saying a sequel is better than the first is a lofty praise.
Well, and I wouldn't go into it assuming that it's better than the first, but that's just my opinion.
I get that.
I thought that it was good. I don't think it's as good as the first one.
Yeah, but you often will take whatever the first... You don't often like sequels as much.
Well, to be fair, a lot of movie sequels do not usually compare to the first. And that's just kind of a decent fact.
True. However, I feel like the fight scenes in the first movie were better than in the second movie.
As someone who only knows one thing about Zombieland, is there a scene in Zombieland 2, or I believe it's called Double Tap, that compares to the Bill Murray scene in the first at all?
Yes.
Oh, there is?
Yes.
That is already a good enough reason to go see it.
I cannot say anything. However,
Do not.
you will. Yeah.
If
no.
you're going for like Murray tie-ins or things like that throughout the whole movie, you might be disappointed, but it doesn't. It is worth sticking around for. I'll say that.
That's okay. That's actually a very good praise of the film. I actually might want to go see that now.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty good. It's
Also-
a pretty good bit.
Also, anything that Woody Harrelson is in is automatically
The only thing I'm kind of disappointed for that movie is that when the trailers were coming out, they showed a lot of some of the really funny jokes in the trailer. So kind of a spoiler, but it's in the trailer. There is one really funny joke where the girl looks to her new friend and goes, "Do you have any weed?" And he says, "Do I look like the kind of guy who has weed?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't." And he goes, "Bam!" and like pulls out a huge bag of weed. He's like, "Of course I have weed." That was in the trailer, but it didn't really. It kind of lost some of the funniness for me because it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
However,
Totally agree.
as far as trailers go, some people are fixing their mistakes. Have you guys seen the new Sonic trailer?
Okay, so we're completely coming off of Zombieland.
What do you have more to say about it?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah, no,
He's
please.
getting
Oh
it.
no,
Please
Woody
do.
Harrelson is
Look-
probably one of the best, if not most underrated actors ever. I will stand up for Woody Harrelson in anything.
Yeah.
Sonic, as it's already shown, can come back later. Woody Harrelson takes precedence.
Yeah.
Yes, always.
Woody Harrelson.
The man from Cheers who worked his way from being that tiny little good boy all the way to a great, fantastic actor. Let's fucking talk about Woody Harrelson.
Second time this has been mentioned today. I did not know that Woody Harrelson was in Cheers.
How do you not know him?
I did not either.
Really? For a family that constantly sings the Cheers theme song, I'm amazed at that.
I don't know if I want to say this, but I don't know if I've actually watched Cheers. I am a young boy though.
I will not leave Aiden out to dry by himself. I also don't know that I've ever actually watched Cheers. I know that I've seen small clips from it, and I know that, the thing that everybody knows about Cheers, when the one dude walks in, everybody goes, "Norm!" And then and the whole song is,
I'm amazed that I'm one of the Zoomers in this garage, and I've seen almost every episode of Cheers. It has a lot to do with just my folks.
Yeah.
I will say, Cheers still very much holds up. It's still very funny. It does have some very much like 80s quirks that would probably not be okay in 2019, which is just with anything that comes from the past, sadly.
For sure,
But it
yeah.
still very much holds
Like your
up.
grandma,
Yes, she is still alive, but
who sometimes says something maybe
Vaguely.
a little bit racist.
not little, just very racist. Love you, Grandma, but you got to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, that is if you watch our podcast.
That is if you watch. I don't know if my grandma knows how to work a phone.
don't
in
usually
general,
watch
so-
podcasts.
How do I get a podcast on my flip phone? I don't think she's gonna find this at all. She's still got a Motorola Razr.
I didn't see Roast Parker's grandma on the minutes.
Well, you know what? She's here now, and she's in our live studio audience. She's not. If she was, I'd be very
Not,
afraid.
no. That would be... You're gonna roast your grandma in front of her face?
Yeah, it's the Bornstein family motto.
Do you guys know how many movies Woody Harrelson has been in like the last 5 years?
How many?
I'm gonna say 20. We're counting.
Well, he's counting. I looked over...
6, 7, 8.
Okay, he's
As
counting
as
louder.
Nine.
fun as counting
Count louder.
is-
Louder.
11,
Yes.
Oh my god.
12,
Yes.
13,
Louder.
14,
Ah!
15.
Yes.
I hate listening to this, and so will all of our listeners.
15.
15 movies in
15
6 years?
As from what I could see off of just straight up Google real quick.
That's quite impressive for like 5 years. That's a lot of like
He's
studio time.
Getting it.
Good for him.
Come
on, Ellie. Come on, Ellie. Give us a good segue.
Counting into a
Give us a good segue.
Well, I'm still on Woody Harrelson.
Oh, we're still on
Thank
Woody
you very
Harrelson?
much.
All right, go.
The Highwayman was a great movie.
I've never seen
I
it.
have not seen it.
It's great. It's about two highwaymen hunting down Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, wait, is that like a Netflix movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have heard good things about that.
It was very good. But then again, I do love, is that Kevin Costner in that?
Yes.
And Woody Harrelson, and they are great together. And that movie is like, if you want two like gruff old kind of cowboy-esque people hunting down Bonnie and Clyde, that's what you get, and it's good.
Kevin Costner, just for a quick side tangent, also has the kind of Nicolas Cage-esque distinction of being a great actor who does not choose good movies all the time.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's not the only person who doesn't choose good movies all the time. Have you seen some of the shit Jim Carrey has been in? Like the Sonic movie?
Good
Left
segue.
leg.
What?
You're the worst. You're the worst human being ever. For everybody who's not like in this garage right now, Aiden did what I assume he's thinking is a visual joke, but he just got up, rolled our limb dice that we have for D&D for critical charge, and then screamed left leg into all of your eardrums. Allow me to go back to my good segue.
Hey, Aiden, never stop being
Jim
you,
Carrey
man.
is
Never
in
stop being you.
The Sonic movie.
Come, constituents, till we die.
Good God, I thought I was going to be the annoying one, not the voice of reason.
Oh, so the Sonic... We're not talking about the Sonic movie specifically, but a new Sonic movie trailer.
Exactly.
Yes, and I have a hot take. I preferred the old design.
God, why are you always like this? You absolutely did not.
No, I did, and can I tell you my reason why?
You can tell me your reason and I'll laugh at you, or I'll die. I'll just cringe.
Disregarding the look of Sonic the Hedgehog, just the trailer that we got itself, it looked like it was going to be an awful video game movie, and I was excited. Because I love awful video game movies.
Of course
I do. Yes. Now, what they've done, since they've changed the redesign of Sonic, in my mind, they've changed a awful video game movie to a meh video game movie, and it tainted the whole thing for me. I'm no longer excited to roast that film because I can't look at a rat in blue anymore. He looks decent. And that's not okay with me because the movie's going to be awful, and it's going to be a weird juxtaposition. I want Rat in blue, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik in a slim suit for some reason, and the one actor no one talks about who obviously took this because it was a paycheck and they had no one else who would take the role, and I want a bad script.
So, did you notice how they dulled the tones on Sonic's colors?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a really good thing that they did. By the way, I'm completely ignoring what Parker said. Because...
Can I do one thing
Sure.
with what Parker says? I've noticed this trend with a lot of your opinions on like, I want like a bad movie.
Yes.
You're like the type of person who likes B movies because they're bad.
Yes.
You like things because they're bad. I feel like everybody is taking your opinion as like an actual adult's opinion and not someone who just has no taste.
Whoa! I have an adult's opinion.
I don't know about
No.
that. I do have a question for you, though.
Yes, what's
have
up?
you seen the Sharknado series?
Yes.
Do you enjoy them?
I love the Sharknado series.
Case in point.
Well, I mean...
There's
They're good for one reason. That's one reason alone. It's a Sharknado.
Well,
It's the thing is it's how ridiculous it is.
The thing with my tastes that I know you guys have seen, because when I came into this garage, I said Batman and Robin was the best Batman movie, and that's something that's been a stigma over my head since I got here.
Go
ahead.
Let me ask you this in the same way that I handed you a Batman comic after you said to me that Batman and Robin was the best Batman movie.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever owned a Sega?
Yes.
Have you played Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes.
How did you not watch the new trailer and go, oh my god, it's actually Sonic now?
Because I never took Sonic seriously, and I've always felt like Sonic is something that can be made fun of, because that's always what Sonic has been to me. If that makes sense.
No. I mean, if we're just talking about like that Sonic is kind of a laughingstock, we've all been to DeviantArt.
Yeah. And what I wanted with the Sonic movie, like, if someone said to me, hey, we're getting this person and this person and this writer, and we're making a Sonic movie, and it's going to be good, and it was, like, legitimate people that could do that, I would have a different opinion. But I saw the trailer, and I can see when a movie's just not going to be great. I saw that with the Addams Family movie and certain other films. It looks bad. The Sonic movie looks bad. It looks like another really crappy video game movie, and I'm excited to just have an awful time.
I don't know that I agree with that. I feel like the new Sonic trailer felt more like almost the tone of like Wreck-It Ralph, in which they're taking a video game character who is not a serious character.
I wouldn't go that far.
They're well.
I think everyone in the garage just shook their head at that, but I kind of see where you're coming from, in a way.
What I'm talking about is like the Wreck-It Ralph 2 trailer, in which they referenced just about everything. Like, Disney was like, we're Disney, we can include Star Wars and whatever we want, and the Disney princesses can all have a slumber party with Princess Penelope. Like, that whole, like, hey, we're having fun. We're able to make...
Our editor is talking to some of the other
President
co-hosts.
Penelope.
Right, I'm sorry.
Good distinction.
Was that a spoiler?
That's in the first one.
Okay, well, President Penelope.
Also, Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet has been out for quite a while.
It's like 7 years at this point.
If you have not seen it,
It's like Zombieland spoilers. Just
you're not gonna see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. I have had access to watch it for so long. I have never clicked on it.
same on this
I
side.
really enjoy the message that movie sent. I don't know how we segued to Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet,
But no, I want to
um,
with the opinion on Sonic being like a kind of a tongue-in-cheek Wreck-It Ralph type thing.
right, something that they're like, this is Sonic the Hedgehog. He's Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, there's specifically several moments in which, like, they just show him go around the loop-de-loop from the video game, from, like, World 1, Stage 1.
I enjoyed that. That was nice.
And they show him being like, oh, I came to your world to avoid people trying to steal my powers. It's like, I don't really care what the premise of the movie is. It's the little things in that trailer that made me hopeful to see it. Like, one, Sonic looks like Sonic the Hedgehog now. He still doesn't have one big eye, but they put it close enough that he might as well.
I prefer not one big eye. The one big eye always spooked me.
But my point being, the dude's like, Sonic is like, he's Sonic. He looks out the window and he's like, giant rubber band ball? Yes. And the dude's like, no, not right now. We're busy. And then Sonic just jumps out the window, goes, it wasn't that great. Gift shop's good, though.
By the way,
Mm-hmm.
that dude, his name is James Marsden.
Uh-huh.
He was also in Hops? Hop. You know the
You're not helping
Easter Bunny movie?
the case for the Sonic movie.
That was my
Darby says that the trailer for the Sonic movie feels much alike the Hop movie.
Once again, not helping the case.
I'm voicing Darby's opinion.
I know. I'm just commenting on Darby's opinion. Thank you for your opinion, Darby.
I'm much more hopeful for the Sonic movie now. I think the thing that gives me the most hope about the Sonic movie is, even if it comes out as like a meh, it kind of is like, it was an okay movie, they listened to the fans and they changed things.
Yeah.
They listened to what people wanted, and they said, you know what, we're sorry for taking this thing that you loved, because regardless of the terrible things we've all seen on DeviantArt, there are people out there who do take Sonic seriously, and they do really, really appreciate Sonic. And as much as some people make fun of those people, the fact that the producers of this film went, wow, maybe we should make some changes, and they redesigned their entire movie. They took the title character of the movie and then changed him in every single shot for the movie going forward. That is a good, like, message for people to send going forward on other projects.
And you know what's interesting about that as well, piggybacking off that, there were reports that even Sega didn't see the final release until the trailer hit of the original Blue Rat and were furious. Mm-hmm. They were like, what did you do to our IP? And already Sega had that backing, and then the internet came with its righteous fury, and that made it change. Which, if that is it going forward, maybe we can, as a consumer, finally have voting rights in the internet-based age, which it's so hard to have, but we got enough of a base to change that. Maybe that can be it going forward.
I mean, if you want to go, you can go.
It makes me very hopeful for the fact that a majority of people talking out against something that they believe is wrong, even if it's something as non-essential as the Sonic movie itself, can actually elicit change. And it makes me very much hope that people will recognize complaints going forward, and as you said, that our opinions as the consumers or as the voters, or what we want to happen, can be important. It does matter. And that things that we love aren't just a money grab. However, I saw somebody comment, as far as money goes, if you complained about the Sonic movie, you better go see that movie. because due to your complaints, they've changed it.
And you know what? My cynical self, the people who complained are not gonna go see that movie. They complained because an internet forum was popular and they wanted to throw their hat in the ring.
That makes sense. Here's my deal with video game movies. There you
go.
I don't need them. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't need them. The thing is, with video games, I like to enjoy them because you are playing that character. You are experiencing that character's choices because they are your own choices. You get to do, like, you are making their actions. And, like, turning a video game character into a movie, it's different. And they already have a medium to explain a story for that character.
I agree. However, I think certain video games can work as movies if done right.
Sure.
The Mortal Kombat movies, or movie, because we don't like to talk about Annihilation,
Sure.
is a fun romp because it took a game that was about doofy characters beating the ever-loving crap out of each other and made it into a movie. That's good. That's basically just an action film. But then you take a movie like, I don't know, like Blood Rain or Far Cry or these self-contained experiences made by the lovely director Uwe Boll, and they're just, absolute pieces of garbage.
Yeah.
I think an important distinction with any video game movie, as Aiden kind of said, if you already have a medium to tell a story, why are you trying to change the medium and tell the same story when you already did it in the video game? I don't think that necessarily applies to, and even as campy as it was, like the Mortal Kombat movie, for instance, because all that video game is a very loose lore setup of a bunch of people beating each other up. That being made into like more of an adventurous movie was cool, and even as 90s and campy as it was, I still remember enjoying
It still
that
holds
movie.
up. It's as a campy fun ride, it still very much holds up.
Yeah, I understand that, and like making like a new way to tell the story is good. But with the way that I think they're delivering the Sonic movie, I don't need it.
I was saying that no one sat down and went, you know what, we need a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It just happened because Sega and the production company in the movie saw a medium to make money. And personally, at least my last note on the Sonic movie, I hope it's really bad because I'm going to have a great time watching it and laughing that it's really bad. You're also looking at the guy who had a great time watching the Emoji Movie. That was one of my favorite experiences in life, was sitting with a good friend of mine and just saying, we're going to lose our minds for 2 hours. And we just binge watched the Emoji Movie and had the best time watching Patrick Stewart as the piece of crap emoji. And it was fantastic. And I would do it again.
This is why I enjoy you two so much, is because all of our opinions are so dissenting from each other the majority of the time.
Yeah.
Opposites attract.
And I get along with you guys great, but like, oh my God, Parker.
Look, all I'm saying, there are 2 movies that if you show me, I will have a great time no matter what, especially I'm with the right people. The Shaun the Sheep movie and the Emoji Movie.
What about Batman and Robin?
That's a personal thing.
I literally just got chills. I'm not even kidding. And not the good kind of chills, like when you see something or hear something disgusting and it like rolls from your neck down your spine. I got that just from mentioning that. As
Have
like
you seen the Emoji Movie?
Fun movie to laugh. I'm not talking about the Emoji Movie. Aiden mentioned the Batman movie.
Oh, the very campy and still fun Batman and Robin movie.
No.
Yes. Look, it is not the best Batman movie anymore, but I still very much enjoy it.
Batman would be that movie would have been made better if you'd sold Batman to Disney, and I would hate that. Speaking of Disney,
God damn it.
I believe we just got Disney Plus at the house.
Oh, did you guys purchase Disney Plus?
Yes.
I did not, but
Well,
The family did.
the family hath purchased the Disney Plus.
So I want to hear your guys' opinion as someone who not only doesn't really have a connection with Disney, but doesn't really see the value in Disney Plus. What is the reason that the family got Disney Plus?
Star Wars, I would think. I would think that's the main reason.
Really? Just
Not
Star
for me.
Wars?
Not for me.
Maybe superheroes, actually.
I was going to say,
some of the
Marvel has
shows.
a much bigger stake than Star Wars in that.
I mean, Disney Plus has like a lot of properties.
Yeah.
Disney owns so much stuff now that it's like they're coming out with exclusive content, and I think the family at large wants to see the exclusive content. My dad is disabled, and he can't get out a lot and do a lot of things, so getting exclusive content is really cool that he has something to do, something to watch.
I myself am very excited for the Mandalorian series because my favorite things in Star Wars are bounty hunters. However, that is not the main reason I'm excited for Disney Plus.
What is the main reason?
I am excited for some childhood favorite movies that I haven't seen in a while, like Brother Bear. Oh my god, that used to be like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Just for those listening, I'm gonna opt out because I didn't watch any Disney movies as a kid.
That's fine.
The only thing I saw was Darkwing Duck, so that's all I got.
Brother Bear, which is one of my favorite movies of like all time, and I love the Phineas and Ferb series, which was removed from Netflix because of the making of Disney Plus.
So much was removed from Netflix because of Disney Plus. We lost some very good Marvel TV shows because of Disney Plus. Okay, some very fun to watch.
Here's what I'm wondering.
TV shows.
Do you think, as consumers, that any of those TV shows are coming back?
That's an interesting question because I think some yes and some no and some yes in different ways. I'm still we had this conversation the other day. I still very iffy on Disney Plus going a mature route for some of their Marvel properties. I still do not think that we're going to get another Deadpool movie like the Deadpool movies that came before. I don't think we're going to get a rated R superhero movie from Disney because of how child-based their consumer base is and how family-based it is. So with that being said, I don't think The Punisher is going to come back because that was a very brutal, honest show that in the first season dealt with a war vet with PTSD planting bombs.
Are we allowed to talk about Punisher Season 2? Spoilers, things like that?
How long has it been since Punisher Season 2?
I have not watched Punisher at all.
Should we avoid Season 2?
I do not mind spoilers, though.
Well, I don't know if we'll be able to watch Punisher now that it's not on Netflix anymore. I don't know if Netflix
no,
has
it's still on Netflix. They're just not renewing it yet. You know, last time I checked, Season 1 and Season 2 are still there. I rewatched Episode 1 of Season 1 the other day.
I really enjoyed the first Punisher season.
I did too.
I don't like the aspect of Punisher where dudes who are hyper-violent and toxically masculine just want to like beat people up, and they're like, I'm gonna rep the Punisher shirt because of this dude, and it's gonna excuse my behavior. I don't like that aspect of it, but I do like the actor whose name I can't remember right now.
I also
his
cannot
performance.
He was also in Walking Dead when Walking Dead was good. I always forget his name, but he's a fantastic character actor that is just very, very good. I agree with you.
I actually despised him in The Walking Dead.
Really?
But
As an actor or as the character?
yeah.
As an actor, I thought he did a fantastic job.
I don't think it's... I think he did, as an actor, a fantastic job. I hate the storyline centered around him. I hated how long he was in... So, we can talk about season 2, 3, 4, whatever
Walking
like
Dead?
early
Yeah,
season
it's
Walking
been a
Dead,
long time.
whenever Shane was in it.
Get caught up, people.
Okay, I guess we're talking about Walking Dead right now, but Shane in the comic books is in the first volume of like the graphic novel that was put together out of the paperbacks of the comic books or the individual issues. About 3/4 of the way through that comic book, Shane dies, like real early. And as far as spoilers for the comic books in the show, Shane does all these terrible things and turns into a zombie, and then Carl shoots him.
Yeah.
In the comic book,
Well, I mean,
There's a lot more there, but I see your point.
Rick stabs him first.
okay, but even that's not how it happens in the comic book, and the comic book has a very important distinction in my mind, which is that Carl learned something from it in the comic books, and basically what happens in the comic books is Shane and Rick have a fight about Rick's wife, and Shane marches off. I don't remember how. I'm probably messing some things up, but I remember the main message of it, and that's that Shane is super mad that Rick came back, which is the whole point of his character. He was like, he lost his best friend, but he like took care of his wife and kind of swooped in and was like the leader of a survivor group, and Rick came back and took over and took his wife back, and his son was there, and Shane kind of just got relegated to second fiddle again, and Shane marches off into the forest, and Rick follows him to try and talk it out, because in Rick's mind, Shane is still his best friend, like he still wants to help him, even if there's stuff going on between him and his wife, and Shane pulls out a shotgun and aims it at Rick, and he says, "You never should have come back," and he's gonna shoot Rick with the shotgun, because in his mind, if he kills Rick now, he's back to where he was, no matter how flawed that idea is. And then there's a big splash panel of like bang, and like a gunshot goes off, and the next panel is Shane holding his neck as blood gushes everywhere.
Carl.
And Carl shoots him
so
that he wouldn't shoot his dad. And Carl drops the gun as Shane dies in front of both of them. And Carl starts crying and he says, "It's not like killing the dead ones, Dad." And Rick kneels down and grabs him and pulls him close and goes, "It never should be." And that is a lesson that Carl learned that day.
That compared to the drawn out first to third season Shane that we got in Walking Dead is a much better story than the AMC version. And especially because not only with the Shane series, but it felt like season 2 was just stretched so much to fit in these like very pointless character plots that were not needed.
Right. And I'm not a huge fan of Shane and The Walking Dead and how they did everything. And it's like they kept some characters around who really should have been gone, and they kept other characters around who should have been there, or they cut other characters loose who should have been there like much longer. And it's the whole thing is just it's such a mess, and they went so far away from the source material that it's its own thing. And I've got so many comments about my thoughts on The Walking Dead and also my thoughts on the Gotham show, in that you should just watch it as its own thing. And I have such a hard time watching anything as its own thing.
Speaking of your thoughts on things, I would love to know your thoughts on what Marvel Disney Plus shows you're interested in. Because there's a large amount of TV shows and specials that are coming to Disney Plus that are just strictly Marvel. I have only one that I'm actually interested in, which is Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
I've heard some interesting things about Moon Knight. The other thing I've heard about Moon Knight, which kind of counterpoints your original argument, did you know that they got a very, I don't remember his name, but a renowned horror director.
Really?
To be the Moon Knight director.
Ooh.
Which leads me to believe that it's going to be a darker show.
Okay. If Moon Knight turns out to be a darker, more, I'm going to say Constantine, because it's the first thing that comes to my mind, side of Marvel. I know Constantine's a DC dude, but it was just the first darker superhero that came to my mind.
We're good.
I would very much enjoy that, and I would love to watch Moon Knight in the future.
No, why would you say that? No, we gotta cut that. Darby, cut out Parker's illegal activities, please.
I don't support it, but yeah.
But he is poor.
Disney's a $1 billion corporation. You can steal some things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have a code. We don't steal from mom and pop shops, but we steal from corporations.
I mean,
my co-host do not enjoy this.
Modern Robin Hood. Parker.
Well, I don't steal anymore, but if you're gonna steal, don't steal from mom and pop shops. Steal from large corporations that already prey on the weak.
I'm trying to find out who the art director of Moon Knight is so that I can talk about what I was saying.
Parker's currently begging Darby for a high five or some sort of handshake, and she is declining.
Quote, I agree with you, but not on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Ellie, what are you currently looking up, if I may ask?
I'm trying to find who the
Moon Knight director
is.
Aiden, what shows are you looking forward to from the Marvel Pantheon?
I don't know. I have not ever been too interested in comic book TV series.
Really?
I have not found or actively started to watch one that had intrigued me.
That's interesting for you to say, because I kind of come from the position that a lot of comic book TV shows are better than their movie counterparts. Especially if we're talking about, DC's animated line. Would you consider that kind of TV show cartoon realm?
I was thinking live action TV shows.
Okay.
I do not specifically seek out live action comic TV shows.
I'm assuming you didn't enjoy any of the Netflix, Daredevil? Not even Luke Cage?
Not.
I can see that.
No, did not. Most likely, probably because the art design peeves me off so much.
That I understand.
Because I want things a very specific way. Mm-hmm. And, the art design that some people take the comic, characters' outfits and stuff just feels wrong.
and maybe sometimes cheap, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially with this, like, the CW shows.
Like, do you remember The Flash?
The CW show? Or just the Flash character in general?
The Flash TV show.
Yes.
Do you remember his emblem?
Yeah.
How, like, in the middle there was, like, felt?
Yeah.
That was weird, right?
A lot of
that
the
was a
costumes
weird-
in the CW shows were very
That was
odd.
a weird design choice.
Have you guys seen that Supergirl clip?
I haven't seen it. The majority of
Which
the CW shows because I don't enjoy them.
They're not great, but there's a clip that went viral recently of a Supergirl episode where it was like Supergirl versus like a Martian with the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
And it's some of the worst CG humanly possible.
This
in
was
2019.
reviewed really recently by Quarter Digital.
I believe so. I think Red Letter Media also covered it as well.
Sweet.
Watching them has made me start picking out
Oh yeah.
bad CGI.
Oh,
and
it's so good.
hurts.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I see
They-
things I never would have seen before.
Yeah,
Shout
they're-
out Quarter Digital. You guys are great.
Yeah, they are super cool.
But yeah, that Supergirl CG is real bad.
So bad.
Oh my god.
It's.
The way the dude just melts through the floor, it's like they
Yeah.
just took his image and brought it down.
Do you see the one where she's like flying across the screen, and they basically just
They
take.
copy paste, they just like dragged her.
Yeah. They basically they took her and they just dragged her off the screen.
Because you can see where she like starts to fall to
Yeah.
land on the mat, and they just dragged her across the
And
screen.
she like picks up speed.
it's
it's
literally
weird.
it's a very bad
It's
Photoshop
awful.
job.
I'm literally like I'm face palming just from listening
So bad.
to them talk about how bad it is.
Aiden will pull it up
Let
for
me see
you
if I
because
can
we
find
need.
a
It's
GIF of
so good.
Oh God.
The Martian's costume literally looks like a mixture of a face mask and just poorly 90s CGI. And like there's very little shadows or reflections in mirrors of certain characters.
We're ripping into the Supergirl show right now so hard, and like I'm a really big DC fan. Like I love DC.
We
but
love DC,
I love DC.
and DC does not do great all of the time.
Yeah.
Their Arrow was okay. Flash was kind of mediocre.
While
Everything
we're
else
waiting
is
for
not
Aiden
great.
to find this effect to show me so we can get my reaction recorded live.
I don't know if we're able to find it.
Can I just say that hey DC, why'd you make Arrow Batman? Like
Yeah.
What?
I would really like to know.
Wait. What?
You've seen the Arrow CW show, right?
Yes.
This is my biggest complaint about the CW shows. This is what me, as a longtime DC fan,
I see
made
where
me
you're
not
going.
want to watch any of the CW shows at all or contribute anything to that fandom or anything in general. And I've spent so much of my money on DC because I love it. I love DC. I've been a Batman fan my whole life, from my dad getting me into Batman and now just going forward. I love the Batman series. Why'd you try and make Arrow Batman? Can I have like a Batman show instead? And like you won't give me Batman. You'll only give me like bad movies. Like the Arrow show, you could have replaced. You can literally like copy paste Batman over everything that Arrow does, and he's
it's Batman.
so much
Yeah.
like Batman. And Arrow is supposed to be the one who like fights for things the right way. Like Batman and Arrow have gotten in fights in the old Bruce Timm Justice League series because Arrow thinks that the way Batman does things is wrong, and that's so not the case in the Arrow movie. He is so a dark, brooding vigilante.
Who does a lot of similar things to Batman in terms of fight styles and whatnot.
And they give him all of Batman's rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Because apparently Green Arrow doesn't have enough villains of his own.
And why can't they just make a good Arrow show instead of making I don't understand why they make Arrow Batman when they could have made a Batman CW show and made more money than an Arrow show.
Or made, Green Arrow.
Yes.
Because, like, my favorite thing about Green Arrow, which comes from the Justice League animated series, is when the Justice League is like, hey, we gotta disband, people are not liking what we're doing. And Green Arrow is like, hey, you're wrong. You're doing great. You just need to keep trying. Just because you failed once doesn't mean you shouldn't keep going.
Green Arrow
Right.
is a very complex character that shouldn't be completely bogged down to Batman look-alike.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they boiled him down to.
Yeah.
And everybody was so into it. And they're like, Arrow is so cool now. It's like, well, yeah, he's so cool now because you made him Batman.
Yeah. And granted, there are some pieces of Arrow that I enjoyed, but definitely looking back, it just feels like a Batman sheen over the show. When it comes to the other CW show, The Flash, they had a more lighthearted feel, which fits the Flash character,
Yeah.
but the very limited budget ruins it in some
Yeah,
cases.
I was just about to say I enjoy the Flash, but I'm not a big Flash fan. What are your opinions on the Flash?
I would actually love to
love
know your
Flash.
opinions on The Flash.
I have not seen the Flash show all that much.
Okay.
I should watch it because I love the Flash.
There are some good parts.
But I will not voice my opinions on it because I have not watched it avidly. I do love the Flash as a
Yo,
character.
well, how
He
about
is
we do?
my favorite DC?
How about we do this then? What are your thoughts on the Flash show, having not really seen it now? And then when you watch the show, we'll touch back on this in a later episode.
Because this is not the last time we're going to talk about DC. I can
or the
bet money
Flash.
on it.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, the character's Barry Allen, right?
It is supposed to be very.
It's supposed to be Barry
First of
Allen,
all,
yes.
Barry Allen's blonde.
Good point.
Fair point.
Fair point.
This is all mostly going to be based off of art direction.
That's completely fine.
Um,
You are an artist.
I am 100% like down for like the spandex look of superhero suits.
Interesting point.
And
Okay.
I don't like the modernization and like live action versions that some TVs and movies bring to these new outfits and stuff. Like, what am I thinking?
Can I ask you a quick question on
Sure,
that note though?
Yeah.
What spandex suit in any live action media have you seen that looks good?
That is a
None.
good. That's
None.
a very good question.
However-
I can't
because
think
in
of
real life, spandex doesn't look good. It
It-
bunches and it doesn't stretch the way it does in comic
it
books.
looks very awkward, especially on
It
camera.
does.
However, I'm very much a fan of how they did Captain America in Marvel. I think that they
Okay.
captured his, not necessarily the newest, but sort of like the middleist kind of route that they took his outfit.
I can see what he's talking about.
It very much, it resembled the original character, but didn't, it wasn't the same.
What do you think of the bat suit from Justice League?
First of all,
Okay.
I hate Frank Miller Batman.
Right.
I think he's stupid.
And that's a valid point, in all honesty.
I-
Frank Miller Batman
I-
is an acquired taste.
I think that he is one of my least favorite Batmans.
Right.
And
But I'm
that
just talking about art direction right now.
Like
As far as like the source material of Frank Miller's choppy art, that's I'm not like in any way trying to insult Frank Miller. I'm just saying that like his art has like very square edges and very angled designs.
I have never thought of Batman as a big buff dude.
Right.
I have figured Batman is kind of like a buff twink, which is kind of an oxymoron.
I feel like I should get up and leave this podcast just to save my
Aiden,
reputation as a Batman fan.
that's called a twunk.
Sorry, a twonk.
Oh God.
That is a term that can be described for Batman. He is a twunk.
He is not a bodybuilder.
Oh.
He is buff, but he's not square. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, Aiden, just a quick backtrack. I wanted to raise you a point about spandex and film. Are you too familiar with the 1997 Justice League of America pilot?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna be a nerdy DC dude real quick.
Sure.
In 1997, CW, before the Arrow show, tried to commission a pilot for a Justice League show. It was an unsuccessful pilot, and I just want to show you the art design for these characters.
Yeah. Could you bring that over here, Aiden, so that we can
Yeah, just
react
hold
to
that.
it?
Yeah, hold that. Look at
in process of
Flash,
moving some things.
Green Lantern. I think that's like Dr. Adam, maybe.
This might be a surprise, but I like that Flash
You
better
are
than the CW
ridiculous. No,
I actually like that better than the CW
he
Flash.
looks ridiculous.
The
Can you
mask-
describe him, please?
The mask, no. However, the symbol on his chest is good. We've
I switched to a different picture
You
when they
switched to
were
a
in a
different picture, yeah.
in a less punishing pose. And
Is it better or worse?
It's not worse.
the
Can you-
mask.
do me a favor.
It's not great.
Do the listeners a favor. Describe what the Flash looks like in that picture.
In the one that you showed us, I can't really describe what's wrong with this Flash as far as like looking bad in any of these costumes because they're just real people.
Yeah.
Like the thing is they look weird to us as quote unquote superheroes because they're not triangles, but they're real people and they have these things called internal organs. So
Right,
yeah, like of course they're not as cut or lean as they should be, and they're not like Greek Adonises.
Well, no, that is
But-
not necessarily my point, as much as it is that the costumes in that show, while probably more spandexy and realistic, do look very poorly put together. Especially if you look at Green Lantern, who's just wearing a leather jacket.
Well, yeah. I think that I only like the Flash's outfit And even then, it still looks a little incorrect to me.
Yeah, but here's something about this outfit design specifically. The leather jacket, Green Lantern, that's one of his outfits.
That's Kyle Rayner. That's Hal Jordan, technically.
Come on, Ellie.
No,
Get caught
but
up
DC
on
does this a
Green
lot.
Lantern.
At the time that this pilot was made,
1997.
who was Green Lantern and was the comic book character wearing that outfit in the current comic runs?
I actually do
Parker,
not remember.
Are you sure that was Hal Jordan? Maybe it was Kyle Rayner the whole time.
Could be.
Like, maybe in this pilot it is Kyle. That's what I'm saying, though.
I will be honest, late 90s Green Lantern is something I try to avoid because that was the Parallax, Hal Jordan kills all the lanterns era, and I like to forget about that until about 2005.
Side note, everybody needs to go watch The Death and Return of Superman by Max Landis on YouTube because it's amazing and it's great.
Max Landis has some very great videos, just in general. But I see what you mean about the Flash CW show. Are you guys familiar with...
Are you done dying yet?
Yeah,
Are you guys familiar...
Could we show the clip before we're like an hour away from when we talked about the clip?
We're already as far
No,
away
let's go
as
back.
we're
No,
gonna
this
go.
is the Supergirl clip.
Oh,
No.
that's all bleep.
That's all
cut
bleep.
that out? Well, I mean, just bleep it.
Just bleep it.
Oh, no,
No.
I messed with it.
Oh, God.
Live reaction to the Supergirl clip. Hopefully this doesn't get copyrighted. All right, and here we go.
Oh, that was bad. I don't know what that was, but that was bad
Here
as
it
it
is. Here it is. Ready?
Oh, God.
What scene did you guys just watch? Just
That
out of
was
curiosity?
so
Was that when he
bad.
sinks into the floor? Or is that when she flies?
It was the cutting
Uh-huh.
across the screen.
Oh, it's so
where
good.
They just dragged her
so
across
good.
the screen.
You can see when she falls a little bit, and then they just drag her.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So,
that has
God.
a budget of like a toothpick and some change. It's amazing. We're showing our now editor this clip, which is so good.
You know what I would have done to get that shot better?
What?
I would have had the actress dive into a swimming pool off of a high dive. And then just change it.
Or the corridor digital way I'm sure you're going to talk about.
Well, I don't know what...
Just a pad
Yeah.
Yeah.
off of the screen.
Yeah, that would have been much better.
But what I'm saying is if you wanted her to fly past, like what they did was like jump and then fly... Okay, well...
It would be easier than either finding a stage where you could do that on the same screen or like rotoscoping her out and in to a different scene.
I'm not exactly sure how easy the FX of it would be, but my thinking, my logical progression of it is that in order to get that scene, in order to get that scene, I would have her jump off of something that she had enough time to have physics operating in her favor so that it looked like she was flying, and you just changed the direction so that she's flying sideways.
Okay, well, let's think about this. If you are
Okay, guys, I'm back.
if you are a VFX team that produces something as good as literally selecting her and dragging her off of the screen, how well do you think they're going to do by cutting her out of a different image and pasting her into another image that are both videos?
So, I want to ask you guys a question.
With green screen, though?
If you worked on
Even with
Supergirl...
green screen, even with... Because you won't have the same lighting.
Hi, guys, it's me again. If you guys were working on Supergirl and you were on the VFX team, would you put that on your resume?
No.
No? Solid no?
No.
I would not.
Just strike that from the record?
Yeah.
Do you think they used fake names whenever they talk about...
You know what? Actually, if I did, I would then include a year later version of it, where I did, so I would show some progression.
Right.
Do you think it's gonna get better after all this backlash? Do you think they're gonna try to put more effort into it?
Here's my thought.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking that their VFX team was like one guy a week before they had to turn it in.
You think it was just one guy? Do you
I
think
think
CW
it was
hired one guy?
One guy. How many TV shows hire a team of VFX artists, do you think?
At least two.
Sure, two guys. Maybe a couple of days before it had to be released or given to the production company.
You think the company would look at one VFX guy and goes, if it comes with one,
Give me two.
give me two.
We won't reference where that came from. Those who know, you know.
Those who know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
You know?
So, excuse my not knowing, but is there anything else we need to talk about today?
We haven't talked about Addams Family, which I believe Parker has watched.
I thought I was going to get away with it.
I mean, we don't have to talk about it.
No, I can rant about it.
We could also, if you don't feel like that, we could talk about We Aren't Funny or We Are Hiring. These are the two other topics I have set up.
Please explain that.
Well, the first one's really obvious.
It's very
have you
obvious.
met
We are-
you?
First one is We
Have you
Are
talked
Funny.
to you?
Have you
The
met
second
us?
one, we would like to
You're
talk
in the
about...
same boat as me, Ellie. We have the same sense of humor.
We'd like,
I think so.
the second one, We Are Hiring, is about how you walked into Kohl's and saw 15 hiring signs.
Holiday season, man.
Holiday season, please hire me. Yeah, man. Getting a seasonal job is pretty dang easy sometimes.
Yeah,
Holiday season, I need a job.
I worked
What
at
you said.
a supermarket for a little while, and I started working like around Christmas time, holiday season, and after that, my hours dropped significantly.
Yeah, that's what I'm not looking forward to if
Yeah.
they decide to keep me or if I decide to stay.
Like I went from I think $300 like every other week to like $100.
Yeah, but what is... Like, isn't that better than $0 a week? Like,
That is.
Don't
It
you
is,
need a
but
job?
your hours still do drop.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why most seasonal people, unless they really like the job, will drop because like the
makes a
hours
lot of
just
sense.
sink. And I'm like, look, I'm okay working seasonal jobs because the time will pass faster.
Sure.
Anybody who works in retail knows that just awful moment of just like sitting doing nothing.
Yeah, retail is the worst.
But it's better than
That's
working
not
in food.
Retail's not the worst. Food is the worst.
Food
I
is
have
absolutely
not,
the worst.
I've not been cursed by working in a food place.
I dated a woman who worked at both a yard house and a wood ranch as a waitress.
I'm
or a
dating
server.
a girl who worked at a restaurant.
Yeah, it's you know the horror stories then. They're not fun places to work.
Yeah, no.
People are
especially,
awful.
Especially if you work at a place where old people come in a lot.
Yeah, like wood ranch. Yeah, I
old
know,
people
I
are the
know.
worst.
Old people, yeah, boomers, man.
Yeah.
Goodbye, huge majorities of audiences.
Boomers aren't listening to us. What
old people are
60-year-old grandpa's like, let me listen to three nerds talk about DC. No. It's not what we're getting.
So in the future, we're all gonna end up like individually Googling Garagecast to somehow try and find it and listen to it when we're in our like 80s.
Oh god.
You know,
We'll be
I
our
really
only
hope
old viewers.
I really hope Garagecast gets picked up by like Breitbart or InfoWars. That'll be really fun one day.
That'd be cool.
That'd be actually very cool. Just like have that as like a marketing material.
Oh god.
Yeah, one day we'll get there.
Maybe we'll get picked up by like Alex Jones or something.
Yeah, maybe that'd be like we could have him as a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of selling out,
Sell out.
hey Disney, I'm winking at you.
Oh no, I ain't taking
Yeah.
a Disney check.
Why
Whoa,
not?
what?
Whoa, this you
Dude,
just
you
got.
don't want to get on Disney Plus? We just,
Nah, man, I'm
dude,
good.
we literally just had our sponsored
Whatever-
segment about it.
Whatever that HBO Go thing is,
We're
I'm
not
hopping on
sponsored
that
by
train because
Disney.
it has DC.
You know what? Hey Aiden, you want to say one? Say
We're not sponsored by Disney.
no, but just say two. now. You say two.
Two.
3.
Okay, well, now everyone's in favor of selling out to Disney. Thanks, Parker, for being two. That was a sick
Not how
vote
it
that you
works.
just
That is not a
added.
democracy.
That was a vote, yeah.
That was not a vote.
It's
I
like, I'm
will
one
not
in
take.
favor. I was trying to get Aiden to be two in favor, but you jumped on that train. So, thank you very much.
I will be
Who's-
donating my Disney check to a cause that I care about.
Rated R movies?
The Stop Bullying Parker Fund.
Where can
currently
you-
there's $0 in it. I need to start putting money into it.
Yeah, I think that fund is bankrupt.
It probably is.
I don't think it exists
one-
anymore.
No, I haven't started it yet.
Oh.
As soon as I get some
Hasn't
money, I'm
even
putting it in.
taken off.
That or Hong Kong, one of the two.
Why?
Thank you all for listening. You one person out there.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Mom.
Yeah.
That's not Mom.
Thanks, my mom, maybe?
Thanks, Miss Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Crystal. My mother.
Should that just be the closeout to every podcast? that we
Thank you,
do?
Miss Crystal.
And once again, as always, thank you, Miss Crystal.